But I think we have to come to a point in life to actually acknowledge that I'm unable to take responsibility in whatever area of my life. I'm unable to fight this thing. This thing is a difficult thing for me to fight, and accept that thing. Because when you accept, you are actually allowing yourself to look at a situation from a different perspective. Hey friends, and welcome to the Unpack Show podcast with myself, Johannes Baloyi, and thank you for joining me, because this is a place where we unpack the question we have in mind on the challenges we come across as we go about building and improving our lives. Friends, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you can be notified when we release a new episode. So this week, I just want us to talk about responsibility. Why is it difficult to take responsibility in other situations? Because one thing that a lot of us struggle with on day-to-day basis is responsibility. We battle with responsibility in different aspects of our life, either be it at work, either be it in education, either be it in a relationship, either be it in a business, or either be it working towards your success. Like, we battle with taking responsibility and being accountable to make sure that we make progress, to make sure that we take care of things accordingly, to make sure that things go exactly how they are supposed to be, to make sure that we build an excellent life in different aspects of our life. That's why responsibility is such a huge factor contributing to the excellent life that we have, or to the excellent life that we actually roll out or to build for ourselves. Because the reason why I'm talking about responsibility is that for us to be able to move from one level to the next level, there has to be responsibility. We have to be responsible, and responsibility goes hand in hand with accountability. Because one thing that my manager used to teach me at work was that, Johannes, when working on a certain project, you need to hold yourself responsible for doing the work that you are supposed to do in order to get the job done. And for you to be able to get the job done, one of the biggest factor contributing to responsibility, it's accountability. That's why I'm saying that responsibility is something that we battle with, because responsibility is not something that is easy. We all talk about responsibility, but responsibility is one of the most difficult things that we battle with on day-to-day basis in all aspects of our life. Like I mentioned, we battle with responsibility in relationship, making sure that you are a very responsible person in a relationship, so that you can be able to build an excellent relationship. We battle with responsibility in business, making sure that you build a business, you build your business according to what you imagine it to be. You build your business according to what it's supposed to be into the market. So in terms of building the business to be where it is or where you want it to be, you have to be responsible. In a relationship with you, any type of a relationship, either be it a relationship with your partner, relationship with your children, and I think responsibility in relationship is one of the most important thing. Yet we are not aware of the importance of responsibility in a relationship, because if you are not a responsible person in a relationship, you are going to find it difficult to maneuver through the relationship. You're going to find it difficult when going about building an excellent relationship, because responsibility plays a huge role in terms of building an excellence. And even in education, you might be in school, you might be in college, which is a tertiary institution or tertiary level, or a high school level. A lot of time we find it difficult in terms of excelling in our education. Why? Because of we lack responsibility. And when it comes to responsibility, it is followed by accountability. Accountability, it is actually setting out a system that is going to hold you accountable. So I have a dear friend of mine, Smangaliso. So Smanga reached out to me yesterday, and he sent me his year plan. And I gave him a round of applause and say, man, like what you did, it's a good thing. It takes someone to actually be responsible in order to lay out the year plan of your life. And in his plan, he said to me that, Johannes, what do you think it's lacking in my plan? And I said to him that what I see in your plan, in your year plan, in all different aspects of your life, all I see here, it's a responsibility. What I see here, it's you being responsible for what you want to achieve. You being responsible according to how you imagine your life to be in different aspects of your life. But there's something that is missing here. And he said, what's that thing? And I said to him, the thing that is missing in this plan, it is accountability. Now, it is time for you to work on that weekly plan, monthly plan, daily plan. That weekly, daily, and monthly plan, it is going to allow you and it is going to enable you to hold yourself accountable to say, throughout the entire week, from Monday to Friday, when you get to Friday, looking back to where you come from, what have you done? A lot of us, it is not that it is difficult to achieve our goals, to do the things that we want to, but we lack accountability. Accountability, it is actually setting out a system that is going to allow you to put yourself accountable so that you can be able to take the necessary steps while moving closer to your goals. And when you finally reach a certain point, looking back to where you come from, you can actually see that actually I've made a progress. Actually, I've been responsible, and moreover, I've held myself accountable in making sure that I reach exactly where I want to be. And when talking about the battle with responsibility being one of the biggest battles that we fight each and every day, we have so many reasons as to why we find it difficult to take responsibility in different aspects of our life, in different situations, in different areas of our life. Other people find it difficult to take responsibility or to be responsible because of people are denied to take responsibility. Other people find it difficult to take responsibility in life because they don't have what it takes to be responsible. Other people find it difficult to take responsibility in their life because the situation that they are in, they deny them to take responsibility. And while other people find it difficult in life, find it difficult to take responsibility because of being ignorant. And ignorance, it's such a very big stumbling block that is preventing people from excelling, preventing people to make progress, preventing people to do things that are necessary in life. Because of a lot of us, we are so ignorant. But let's try to unpack as to what do we mean when we say people are being denied to take responsibility. Throughout my entire life experience, I've had a privilege to talk to different people from different aspects of life, and even witnessing people, I've actually realized that a lot of people do go through situations whereby they are denied to take responsibility. And let's give an example and this is not only an example, but it is actually a situation that a lot of us we go through. People are in a relationship. When they are in a relationship, they are having a child. After they have a child, for whatever reason, as time goes by, people break up. And as a result, after the breakup, in most cases, the mother of a child denies the father to have an access to the child. And this is one of the most heartbreaking situations that a lot of guys, a lot of fathers go through, whereby the mother of a child denies them to have an access to their child. And what the mother would say is that I'm going to allow you to have a specific time with the child. The only thing that you can do right now is to make sure that each and every month you send the money so that I can buy the child the things that they need. But to be honest with you guys, what I've actually realized is that taking out the money and buying things for a child, it doesn't entirely mean that the person is being responsible. The father of the child needs to be present in the life of a child to be able to see the child growing, and so that they can be able to identify the things that the child needs so that they can be able to take care of them. Because a lot of time the mother would say that the child needs school transport, school pocket money for school fees, clothes, food, and all of those things. They think that those are the things that the child needs. Yes, those are the basic needs that the child needs, but there are some other things that that if a father is present in the life of a child, they can be able to take full responsibility in making sure that they are aware and they identify even the little things that the child needs. So a lot of men go through the situation whereby when you look at them from the outside, you would judge them and say, this man is not being responsible into the life of a child. While the reality is that a lot of guys, they are being denied to having access to the child. As a result, the father of a child, when you look at them, you'd think that the father is not taking responsibility in the life of a child. So this is one of the major situation that when we talk about people being denied to have a responsibility, it's what a lot of people go through. Because of a lot of people, I've witnessed a lot of men saying that I wish I can be fully present into the life of my child so that I can be able to be a responsible father in the life of a child. And of course, for myself, I'm one of a child who was raised by a single parent. My father wasn't present in my life for whatever the reason my mother had, and my mother played a huge role in terms of taking care of me and my siblings and my sisters. She was doing pretty well, but I've witnessed those moments in my life where I felt like my father was present, where I wish that my father was present in my life so that he can be able to take care of some of the things. Sometimes it is not the money that we need. Sometimes it's just to have a father so that you can talk to someone, to open up to someone, to have a male role figure into your life so that you can look up to. So most of the time when women denies the father to have an access to the life of a child, it is not only about the father not having a responsibility, but it goes deeper into the life of a child. Because what happens there is that the child need to have a role model of a father figure in their life. So this is something that most of ladies are not being aware of, and this is why we talk about people being denied to take responsibility. And point number 2 is that others find it difficult to take responsibility because they don't have what it takes. And there are so many people who wish that they can take care of their family. Other people wish that they can take care of their partners, wish they can take care of their children. Other people wish that they can take care of their life, to be good, to be a good person, even in the society, to look good, to take care of the needs that we want. But because we don't have what it takes, it becomes difficult to take responsibility in our life. A lot of people don't have jobs, they are unemployed, and they wish that they had a job so that they can be able to take care of themselves, to take responsibility of making sure that they get themselves their daily needs, the things that they want in their life. So when looking at the person from the outside, you think that this person doesn't want to be responsible for their life, this person doesn't want to take care of themselves, but never knowing that this person is going through a situation whereby the situation they are in, or the experience that they are in, it actually makes it difficult for them to take responsibility because they don't have what it takes. I remember this past 2 weeks, I was with someone and we were talking about the reality of life. And I said that, particularly in Mokopane, we were in game reserve, and at the front opposite of game reserve, it's a bush whereby a lot of girls who are sex workers, they spot there to do their work, by the way. So we were talking about them and I was saying that when you look at those sex workers, you can judge them. You can say that these people don't want to take responsibility as to how they want to build their life. But if you can sit down with each and every person to try to get their story, you'd actually realize that these people are going through a lot in life. These people are going through situations that pushes them into a corner so that, for them to do the things that they do. And I asked the lady that, let's imagine that right now you have a child, you are unemployed. Second thing, your family is not taking care of you and the child. What are you going to do? Don't you think that there's going to be a point in your life where you're going to think of having someone, a man who's working, who's doing well, to take care of you and your child? And she said that I would do it. And that's why I said that you saying that you want to do it, you can do it, it actually elaborate a situation that those people, they are not doing that thing intentionally. There are situations that puts them to be in that situation so that they can be able to do the things they do so that they can take care of themselves. So sometimes when we look at people from a distance, we think that these people, they're not taking responsibility of their life, never knowing that these people are going through difficulties. They're going through situations whereby it's difficult for them to take responsibility because of they don't have what it takes. That's why a lot of people make decisions that when you look at them, you can judge them. But people make decisions that they make because of it is difficult for them to take responsibility over their life because of they don't have what it takes in order to be responsible in their life. And when you talk about being ignorance, I think ignorance is just it's one of the biggest stumbling blocks that actually makes it hard for people to actually be a fully responsible person over their life, because a lot of us we focus so much on the things that don't matter as to the things that really matters in our life, and as a result we are so ignorant about the reality of life. And there's actually a point where I started to kind of have to develop a fear in me, in my life. And even in this moment, it's something that I always talk to with a lot of young people to say that, one thing that scares me a lot about life in today's day and age is that as young people, we don't have any intention to learn about life. And as a result, there's nothing that you're going to teach our children. And our children will live in poverty. Our children will be miserable because of we didn't instill the knowledge, the wisdom in them so that they can be able to know how to build their life. A lot of us as young people, we complain about lack of opportunities, lack of unemployment, a high rate of unemployment. We talk about the harsh reality of life, how difficult life is. And if we don't learn out of the difficulty of life or the harsh reality of life that we experience, there's nothing that you're going to teach our children, and our children will take over from our depression. Our children will be miserable, and this is a result of us being ignorant about life. So I think this should actually be the harsh reality that we experience about life should be a wake-up call to a lot of us as young people to say that let's start looking at life in a different way. Let's start being responsible people. Let's start learning about life so that we can be able to teach our children something about life, so that our children can be able to know how to face life, how to face life circumstances, how to face life difficulties. Because of a lot of us right now, we cannot we don't have knowledge and wisdom as to how to deal with the reality of life because of this nothing that we've been taught by our parent. That's where a lot of us come from. A lot of us, we were taught by our parents, but because of lack of listening skill, we were so ignorant, and that's why right now we face the difficulty of life as a result of never learning about life, being ignorant about the reality of life, not taking full responsibility about our lives. That's why responsibility, I think responsibility is something that is very important in life. Number one, being responsible. Number two, holding yourself accountable for you to be able to do the things that matters in life as to the things that don't matter in life. And I think with a lot of us talking about the harsh reality of life, I think we should stop judging each other. I think it is now time to be compassionate towards each other. I think right now it's time to listen to each other, to not listen to respond, but to listen to understand. This is something that I always emphasize to people, that to say that when you listen to someone, when someone speaks, don't listen to respond, but rather listen to understand where someone comes from. Listen to understand what is the story that someone tries to tell. Listen to understand what kind of a picture is that person trying to paint in life. And there's a point where I came to make a statement, and this is a statement that I always read and go through because of I actually realized that with the harsh reality of life, it is important that we learn about life and listen to each other. So after I've came to realize that, I actually made this statement to say that if you recognize that someone is not living the right life, or they are not making or they are making mistakes, realize that they haven't yet found the right way to living. Don't judge them, but rather be patient and give it time. They will eventually find the right way of living. And the best thing to do is to be a guiding force. Guide them into the right path so that they can be able to find the right way of living. Because one of the biggest mistake that we do is to judge each other, number one. The second biggest mistake that we do is to never listen to each other. We are always talking. Have you ever found yourself in that moment whereby someone asks you something about your life, you are trying to explain yourself, but they are not listening. They are rushing to give advices. They are rushing to either give a response out of the statement that you do. So that's why it is important that in life, we pay attention to each other's language. We pay attention to what we say. We pay attention as to the communication that we engage ourselves in. Because of communication, it is being used, most importantly, to tell a story, to paint a picture, or to actually explain what we have been through in life. Because of a lot of us have been through a lot in life, but because of you find yourself in a position or in a point in life whereby you try to tell your story to someone and they are not listening. That's why you continue to make mistakes. That's why you continue to make decisions that are actually destroying our life. Sometimes it's not that we are intentional about it, but most of the time it is because of people are judging us. So I think it is important that we adopt the character of being a responsible person in life, to actually be able to listen to each other when we talk. Listen to what someone tries to say to you, and listen to what story is it that someone is trying to explain to you. Because the importance of responsibility is to have an excellent life, as responsibility will give you the freedom of not being haunted by situations. Because most of the time we find ourselves not happy being haunted by situations. But if we take responsibility, then we can be able to free ourselves. Because let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in that situation where you have this aching in heart, this pain that you wish you can be able to take responsibility in some matters? And that's why a lot of men go through a pain of living each and every day feeling like you can be able to be fully present in the life of your child, so that you can be fully responsible in taking care of your child. And this is a pain that a lot of people go through. That's why when you look at people from the outside, you think that people are not being responsible. But reality is that there are so many reasons as to why we find it difficult to take responsibility. And with responsibility, I think responsibility starts with you. Responsibility is something that starts with telling yourself or asking yourself that, what is your intention? And being pure in heart. Because when you know your intention, when you are clear with your intention, you are going to be pure in heart. And the reason I'm talking about being pure in heart and intention, I've actually realized that there are so many situations where we want to be responsible, and with different reasons it is impossible for us, or it is difficult for us to be responsible or to take responsibility. And as a result, we have this pain in heart, this aching. We are being haunted by situations that we cannot take responsibility in, by situations where it is difficult for us to take responsibility. But when you are pure in heart, when your intentions are clear, knowing that if you had what it takes, if you were not denied to take responsibility, you would do so. You're going to be pure in heart, and you're going to be free from being haunted by situations. Because of when we are being haunted by situations, like I said, it is in that moment where it is difficult for you to take responsibility, and when you live with that pain in heart, the pain of, I wish I had what it takes to take responsibility. I wish I had what it takes to take care of myself so that I don't have to depend on other people. I wish I had what it takes to take care of my children so that I don't have to look like I'm not a responsible person. I wish I can be able to take care of myself so that people don't look at me as an irresponsible person. I wish I had a job so that I can take care of my family, so that I don't look like I'm an irresponsible person. So there are so many reasons so as to why it is difficult for us to take responsibility, and as a result, we are being haunted by those situations. We live with pain. We live with that aching of, I wish I had what it takes. So the best thing that will help us to eliminate the pain of being haunted by situations, of not being able to take responsibility, is to be clear with your intentions so that you can be pure in heart. There's a scripture in the Bible, in the book of Matthew, that says that blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. In this term, who is God? God is a sense of freedom. I always, in my perspective, I always say that God is a sense of freedom. God gives you clarity into things. God purifies you so that you can be able to be free from things that are haunting you. So in this case, we are not talking about spirituality and all that. That will come on the next episode or next time. But I just wanted to quote this scripture to say that even the Bible says that blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God, for they shall see the goodness, for they shall experience the goodness of life. So when you are pure in heart, you are going to be able to free yourself from certain situations that makes your life to be difficult. Because a lot of us, we are being haunted by situations as a result of not taking responsibility. But in reality, like I said, there are so many situations that actually makes it difficult for us to be able to take care, to be responsible. That's why we live in pain of being haunted by the situations that we wish we had what it takes to be responsible. But as a result, we are not able to take responsibility. And there's a point where I took care, where I actually had to realize and to actually accept and acknowledge this truth of life. To say that emotional challenges, you need to go through them and accept them, because no amount of action will ever compensate how you feel. Like my role model, Vusi Tembekwayo, he once said something that in life, there are situations that you have to go through them, not over them. A lot of time when we go through painful situations, we want to jump over the situation. We don't want to go through the situation. And those emotional situations, we just have to go through them, not to go beyond them. That's why a lot of us, when we are experiencing pain, we want to use something in order to actually get away from that pain. A lot of us, when we are in a relationship where we've just broken up with our partner, we find another person so that we can be able to avoid experiencing that pain. So we are moving over the pain. You're not going through the pain. And you realize that you actually had to, or you actually live in a pattern of when you leave this person, you find the next one. When you leave this person, you find the next one, so that you avoid finding yourself in that period of time or in that moment of experiencing that pain. But one thing that I had to experience, or that I'm glad I knew about life, is that pain is such a beautiful thing. Yet it's a hard thing to go through, but pain will teach you a lot about life. Pain will teach you a lot of lessons. Pain will give you a lot of lessons about the reality of life. But it is when you go through situation where you'll be able to learn those lessons. Because when you jump over the situation, there's nothing that you're going to learn. That's why I say that one of the things that scares me about life is that as young people, we don't have any intention to learn about life. And as a result, there's nothing that you're going to that you're going to teach our children. And our children will take over from our depression. Our children will be miserable. They will live in poverty. Why? Because of right now, a lot of us as young people, we don't want to go through pain. We don't want to go through difficulties of life. We don't want to groom ourselves. When we come across difficulties, we just jump over. We continue to jump over the situations. We don't want to go through them. And as a result, there's nothing that we are learning about life. And if we don't learn anything, then how can we imagine to teach our children about life? Obviously, there'll be nothing that we can teach our children about life. And our children, that's why I say that they will take over from our depression, because of even them, when time comes for them to be matured, there's nothing that there's no knowledge that they can be able to use in order to approach life or how to live life, because of it is our responsibility as their parents to learn about life, so that we can take the knowledge that we have and pass it over to our children. And one thing that I learned along the way is that if you find it difficult to take responsibility in any situation, stop hurting yourself by fighting. Fight that does nothing to you but break you, because of a lot of time we continue fighting battles that does nothing but continue to hurt us. You find yourself in a situation where it is difficult for you to take responsibility. You don't acknowledge that situation. You continue fighting. And the more you fight, the more you break yourself. The more you fight, the more you break yourself. But I think we have to come to a point in life to actually acknowledge that I'm unable to take responsibility in whatever area of my life. I'm unable to fight this thing. This thing is a difficult thing for me to fight, and accept that thing. Because when you accept, you are actually allowing yourself to look at a situation from a different perspective. Because one thing that I've came to realize again about life is that it's not every battle that needs to be fought, because some battles are meant to keep you stuck. There are some people, they are going to deny you to take responsibility because they want you to suffer. There are some situations that are actually going to make it difficult for you to take responsibility, because those situations, they want you to be stuck in one place. And the more you fight, the more you lose battles. And as you lose battles, you get to be stuck in one place. And whatever the reason may be that makes it difficult for you to take responsibility, accept it. Have clear intention that you do wish to take responsibility, but it is difficult. And be pure in heart. The purity of heart is one of the most important thing about life, because when you are pure in heart, you are going to be clear with your intention, and you're gonna give it time, because time will heal you, and time will give you a new perspective as to how to deal with this situation. Because when you fight, you are not giving yourself time to take a break from a situation, to look at situation from a different perspective. But when you are pure in heart, with clear intention, accepting a situation, giving it time, time will allow you to be able to heal. Time will allow you to be able to look at a situation from a different perspective and have a new approach as to how to deal with that matter. Good. Friends, this is what we had for you this week on the Unpack Show podcast, unpacking the question we have in mind on the challenges we come across as we go about building and improving our life. And I want to thank you for always taking the time to tune in, to enjoy the content, the messages, and the information that we share each and every single week. And please do share with us your thoughts on the comment below. Tell us what's your thoughts about this episode. Share with us what is the next episode that you want us to talk about. What is the topic that you want us to talk about? What is the question that you want us to unpack? And also, please do share those voice notes telling us and giving us your perspective in each and every single episode that we talk about. Perhaps your voice note, perhaps your advice or your experience can be able to help someone out there who needs it mostly. Because in this life, one thing that I've ever came to realize is that we need each other. We need to encourage each other. We need to advise each other. We need to be there for each other. That's why as the Unpack Show community, we are there for you. We are here to be with you in this journey of life. Until we meet again on the next episode, be blessed, be healthy. And as my role model Vusi Tembekwayo once said, have the spirit of the underdog. Goodbye.